Truth hurts, but do you want to hear it? There is someone in your life who is slowly controlling you. And the shocking part? They hurt you too, yet you still can't leave them. Why? Because they are playing with your emotions, and you don't even realize it. Before you skip this video, ask yourself one question. Do you ever feel guilty without any reason? Do you feel like you are always the one who is wrong? If yes, then you are already being controlled. In this video, I'll show you how toxic people hack your mind, what hidden tricks they use, and most importantly, how you can break free from this invisible control. This is not just knowledge, this is a survival skill. Remember, the person who controls your mind can control your entire life. So let's begin the real game of toxic control. Chapter 1. What is toxic control? Control does not always happen through force. Real control happens through the mind. It is the kind of control you cannot see, but it quietly destroys your entire life. Toxic people do not hurt you directly, at least not in the beginning. They break you from the inside. It starts very simply. They question your thoughts, ignore your feelings, and slowly make you doubt yourself. At first, you think maybe it's your fault. Then you start changing. You speak less, hide your opinions, and become afraid before making decisions. And that is where real control begins. Because a person who does not trust themselves can be controlled by anyone. Toxic control is not loud. It is silent and dangerous. It does not force you. It convinces you, manipulates you, and slowly changes your reality. You think you are making your own decisions, but in reality, your decisions are already being influenced. Slowly, your choices change, your confidence breaks, and your identity disappears. You stop being yourself and become someone else's version of you. And the most dangerous part? You do not even realize it is happening. You start believing that guilt, overthinking, and blaming yourself for everything are normal. But they are not normal. They are control. Here's the brutal truth. The day someone controls your thinking, your freedom ends. You may be physically free, but mentally you are trapped. Control is not just about giving commands. Control is about shaping your thoughts. And if you fail to recognize it, you will spend your whole life living by someone else's rules. The question is no longer whether someone is controlling you or not. The question is, can you recognize it? Chapter 2. The Guilt Trap. These people do not control you directly. They create guilt, and that is their most dangerous trick. Because guilt destroys a person from the inside. It always starts softly. I did so much for you. You've changed. You don't care about me anymore. These may sound like simple words, but they are emotional weapons. Slowly, you begin feeling uncomfortable. You feel like you are wrong, and you start justifying yourself. That is where the game begins. Because the moment you start proving yourself, you enter their control. The guilt trap does not force you. It pressures you from within. You think, if I say no, they will get hurt. If I speak for myself, I will look selfish. And then you ignore your own needs, destroy your boundaries, and start living according to someone else's expectations. This is not sacrifice. This is manipulation. Toxic people use your good heart against you. You are caring. They turn it into weakness. You are loyal. They trap you in guilt. And slowly, you become unable to do anything without their approval. You start thinking before every decision. How will they feel? And that is control. When your life decisions depend on someone else's emotions, you are not free. Toxic people make you believe that you are responsible for their happiness, their mood, and their problems. But the truth is, you are not. Every person is responsible for their own emotions. Remember this. Guilt is not always a sign that you are wrong. Sometimes it is simply a tool of control. Whenever someone repeatedly makes you feel guilty, stop, think, observe. Ask yourself, am I truly wrong, or am I being made to feel wrong? That difference is your freedom. Chapter 3. Gaslighting, the mind game. Gaslighting is not just a trick, it is psychological warfare, and the weapon is your reality. Gaslighting happens when someone questions your memory, invalidates your feelings, and slowly distorts your reality. They say things like, "You're overreacting. That never happened. You remembered it wrong." At first, it feels strange because you clearly remember the truth. But when it happens again and again, your confidence starts shaking. You begin thinking, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm overthinking. And that is where control begins. The goal of gaslighting is not to defeat you, it is to confuse you. Because a confused person cannot make strong decisions. Slowly, you stop trusting your instincts. You become dependent on the other person for truth itself. And when someone begins doubting their own reality, who will they trust? The very person controlling them. That is the victory of manipulation. Gaslighting does not make you crazy. It makes you believe you are crazy. And once you believe that, you stop fighting. You stop questioning. You stop searching for truth. You begin believing, maybe I am the problem, but this is not your fault. It is a calculated game. Never hand over your reality to someone else, because the moment you do, you lose control over your own life. Chapter 4. Emotional Manipulation. Emotions are both a human being's greatest strength and greatest weakness. Toxic people know this very well. That is why they play with your emotions instead of your logic. Because you can fight logic, but emotions trap you. Emotional manipulation does not attack directly. It controls you from the inside. They play the victim. No one understands me. Everyone hurts me. You're just like the others now. And suddenly, you become the villain. You start defending yourself even when you did nothing wrong. Slowly, they make you responsible for their sadness, anger, and failures. You think, if I behave better, everything will become okay. But nothing changes, because the problem is not you. The problem is the game they are playing. Manipulators do not want solutions. They want control. They want you to prioritize their emotions, please them constantly, and never stand up for yourself. Slowly you lose yourself. Your needs disappear. Your voice becomes weak. Your identity fades away. You feel guilt, fear, and pressure, but never freedom. Remember this. Empathy is good, but blind empathy destroys you. If someone constantly drains you emotionally, makes you feel guilty, and causes you to doubt yourself, that is not love. That is control. Love makes you stronger. Manipulation makes you weaker. Know the difference. Chapter 5. Fear and Dependency. When guilt and emotions stop working, fear becomes the next weapon. These people may not directly threaten you, but they indirectly scare you. If you leave, everything will fall apart. You are nothing without me. You can't handle life alone. At first, it feels like protection or guidance, but slowly it becomes control. You stop taking risks. You stop making independent decisions. You stop trusting yourself. But this is not safety. It is a cage. Fear keeps you small, weak, and dependent. And dependent people are easier to control. Slowly you start believing, I can't do this alone. I need them. That is the illusion. Toxic people make you feel incomplete, so you remain attached to them forever. They do not make you strong. They keep you weak because strong people cannot be controlled. Fear plus dependency equals perfect control. But here is the truth. Fear is not reality. It is only a feeling, and feelings can change. Chapter 6. Signs you are being controlled. Control is not always visible, but its signs are. Here are the biggest signs. You constantly feel guilty without reason. You are afraid of making decisions. You overthink everything. You doubt yourself all the time. You ignore your instincts. You depend emotionally on one person. You seek approval before every decision. If your happiness depends completely on someone else, you are not free. Ask yourself honestly, am I living according to my own values or according to someone else's approval? Because if every decision depends on how others will react, you are already trapped. Chapter 7. How to break free. Breaking free is not easy, but it is possible. The first step is awareness. The moment you realize you are being controlled, the game changes. Because awareness creates power. The next step is boundaries. Boundaries mean, this behavior is not acceptable to me. Before you stayed silent, now you speak. Before, you adjusted constantly, now you decide. And remember, people who do not respect your boundaries do not respect you. The hardest step is learning to say no. It is a small word, but incredibly powerful, because no breaks control. At first, you will feel guilty. You will feel afraid, but for the first time, you will also be standing up for yourself. Then comes self-trust. You must rebuild trust in yourself, because control destroys self-confidence. Start making small decisions on your own. Take action. Face results yourself. Confidence does not come from thinking, it comes from action. And here is one final truth. People respect you only as much as you respect yourself. If you ignore yourself, others will ignore you too. Freedom is uncomfortable at first, but it is powerful. You were not born to live under someone else's control. You were born free. Now the choice is yours. Will you continue living under control, or will you become the master of your own mind? The decision is yours, and so is your future. This knowledge is powerful, but also dangerous. Use it wrongly, and relationships will break. Use it wisely, and your life will improve. And remember, we are not here to learn mind control. We are here to learn self-control.